Hey guys, and welcome to Biscuits Total War. This is my 10th online tactics and tips video. To mark the occasion, I'm going to be actually putting up 2 tips within the same video. So basically you'll get 2 for the price of 1. So thanks very much for watching all these videos. They've been going on now for a couple of months. So hopefully a few of you guys have learned something new. And hopefully something else that you can take away with you to try with the online multiplayer games. So with this tactic I'm going to show you is how to use your guys to throw the volleys of pilla whilst being in a tight testudo formation. Now it's really handy if you're playing in a 31k game, if you're playing a Rome versus Rome, because often what you might find is that you've got your guys into a testudo formation to prevent your opponent throwing pilla at you. Now what will probably happen is the opponent, if he's got any sense, will turn off his fire at will mode to prevent his units wasting their pilla on your defensive testudo unit. So the whole point about this tactic is if they do that, what you can actually do is quickly throw off a volley of pilla at his guys whilst they've got their fire at will mode off. So hopefully you can kill a few of their urbans and then get your guys back into a tight formation before your opponent's noticed. So what you might want to do is also distract your opponent, maybe with a couple of units of cav around the flanks, or maybe even use a couple of units of urbans to flank in an aggressive attacking formation. By doing that, it should hopefully distract your opponent so you can do this little tactic to kill a couple of his units before they notice. So to do this you need to use the hotkeys, and when I say hotkeys what I mean is the keyboard. Instead of using these buttons down here in the bottom right hand corner, if you use the F key, it'll put your guys in testudo, and if you press it again it'll take it out, and if you press A it'll put it into fire at will mode. So to do this little video I've actually used the computer, and I'm using the computer with a pike unit, basically because the pike unit is slower, so it'll hopefully give you an idea of how this tactic is supposed to work. So I'm just going to triple speed it and wait for these guys to get into range of my pilla. So it's a relatively short, quick video, but hopefully you'll get the idea. I'll just pause it once we get into range of the pilla. Should probably be around here somewhere. There we go. So if we just pause it for 2 seconds, if you pretend that this unit is actually an urban unit, and more than likely the enemy's got these guys in loose formation, and they're just basically waiting, you're probably sitting here with testudo on, and what you want to do is quickly take these guys out of testudo, quickly throw a volley of pilla onto this unit, and get you guys back into testudo. So the quickest way of doing that is to use the hotkeys. So literally tap A, quickly tap A and F. You see I throw some pilla off, quickly press F again,
guard this area,
and then you can get your guys back into testudo. Now I've done it quite slowly, so what you need to do is do F followed by A followed by F. The quicker you do it, the quicker you do that little tactic. But by doing that you're able to throw off a couple of pilla, a couple of their units, and get the guys back into testudo. Now you can keep on repetitively doing that until your opponent notices, but it's probably a quick way of killing a few units without wasting your testudo, and hopefully if the guy notices what you're doing and you get your guys back into testudo, they might waste a few volleys of pilla from your guys, and you can see when they get back into testudo they're fairly impenetrable from both pike and pilla. So hopefully that's something new for you guys. It does involve a bit of multitasking and involves a bit of using your keypads really quickly. The more you practice the better you'll be at it. Unfortunately it's not the best example that I've just given, but hopefully it gives you the gist of how that tactic works. So I'll just bring up that second video now, hopefully something else that you'll learn. Okay, cheers. Hey guys, this is part 2, the second tactics and tips video. With this tactics and tips video I'm using an urban cohort versus a royal pikeman. and they're both gold. Now with a pike unit, their ability is to try and keep your guys at arm's distance with their pike. So what I'm going to show you is actually how to run your guys through the gaps of these pike units. Now you'll see in a second that once this unit engages my guys, they will basically keep them at arm's distance of the pikes, and it's hard to run them through and actually get them around. The only way to get around would be to try and flank around the sides. Your guys have got more maneuverability, which would make it easier, but what I'm going to do is show you actually how to run them through, and this isn't putting you guys into testudo, this is a second way of doing it. So what you'll see in a second, the pike unit will engage my guys, and you see that keep them at arm's distance. It's hard for my guys to break through that centre. So to do that, what you do, you simply put your guys into guard mode, and then you want to double click behind, and you'll see the guys should therefore run through the gaps. By running through the gaps, what's happened is it's going to put these guys, the royal pikemen, into their secondary attack formation, which is the ult attack with their swords. You simply take off guard mode and then ult attack, and then your guys are now aggressively attack. What's happened is the royal pikemen have lost their formation, they're going to be less effective, and in 1 versus 1 fight, when they use their secondary attack, their sword, it's going to be less effective, especially when you're going against a highly trained unit like the airborne cohort. So I'll just triple speed it, and you can see that these guys are now will slowly munch up these pike units nice and simply, and then it's just a matter of time before we win. There we go.
The enemy army is in
So
flight. Pursue.
that was a clear victory.
Rome demands victory from
Now
her
it's really
generals,
handy,
and this
especially
day is
if you
clearly
can't get your guys
our
into pseudo
victory.
formation, or if it's just a 1 versus 1 unit. Just quickly tap that defense mode, get them to run through the gaps of those pikes so you can get into a close 1-to-1 fight. Once you're in that 1-to-1 fight, you should hopefully be able to win that battle, especially against most pike units. So this is Biscuits signing out, and I hope that's something new for some of you guys. Please, if you haven't subbed, please do so. Leave a little comment, leave a little like. It's always great to see the feedback, especially from the guys that never posted on the channel before. So Biscuits signing out, wishing you all the best, and thanks so much for your time and checking out my video. All the best. Bye now.